Thank you very much, and welcome to this evening's forum on Border Patrol activities in the North Olympic Peninsula. I knew we'd have a large turnout tonight. I'm not surprised by this, as a lot of folks in Jefferson County are watching this very closely. And I want to begin by thanking you for being here. I'm Scott Wilson, the publisher of The Leader. I'm pleased to be the moderator of this forum. Let me also make note of the other sponsors of this evening's forum: the League of Women Voters, represented tonight by Jackie Ossie and Sheila Murphy. The Jefferson County chapter of the American Association of University Women, represented by Ruth Merriman. City of Port Townsend, represented by Mayor Michelle Sandoval. And the Port Townsend Peace Movement, represented by Gary Engbright. We're here for an important event related to the new visibility of the U.S. Border Patrol on the North Olympic Peninsula. Border Patrol has been in existence since 1904 on horseback patrolling borders. There's been a major expansion of the Border Patrol since 9/11. It's been shifted into the Homeland Security Department. Many of us have noticed a sharp uptick in activity on the North Olympic Peninsula. In Jefferson County, the most visible activities are checkpoints on state and federal highways. I think there are currently 25 officers and support staff active out of the Port Angeles office, and there are plans for a new regional headquarters in Port Angeles. In some border communities, this is normal. For our community, it is new, and that's why we're here tonight. The purpose of this forum is to find out more, to get informed. Tonight we'll hear first from the Border Patrol, and I'm pleased to say that several top officials from the Blaine sector have come all the way down to join us here this evening. I want to thank them for making the trip to join us here in Chimacum. We'll hear perspectives from local law enforcement second, and then we'll hear from groups involved in the civil rights issues raised by the activities. This is not a forum about federal immigration policy. It's a forum about its application day-to-day in Jefferson County by the Border Patrol. Here are the rules of how we'll conduct the forum. Our intention is to get out of here in 2 hours. And what that clock would say is 11 p.m. We will have 15-minute presentations from each of the speakers, including one speaker from the Border Patrol, followed by Sheriff Brassfield, followed by Chief Daly from the Port Townsend Police Department, and followed by Ann Benson with the Washington Defender Association's Immigration Project, and finally Shankar Narayan, the Legislative Director from the ACLU of Washington State. After that, we'll open it up for questions. There'll be oral questions. My request is that, of course, this remains a civil event based on collecting information. It's not the time for speeches or for demonstrations. So anyone who raises their hand for a question, I'm going to ask them to get to the question as quickly as possible. All of our panelists will have a chance to answer that question within a 2-minute time period. And if you do the math, given the number of panelists we have, we only are going to get in about 5 or 6 questions. So I encourage good questions to be asked quickly so we can get to the things you really want to find out about. For people who do want to ask questions, we have 2 microphones set up at the bottom of each aisle. Please come down and use the microphone so this can all be picked up. Those are the rules. We have timers out in front that the speakers will keep an eye on so they are able to keep their remarks in a timely fashion. Quick introductions, and I'm going to say much less than I actually have on each of these folks so we can get to the forum. We have Chief Patrol Agent John C. Bates, who is basically the chief of the Blaine sector of the Border Patrol in Washington State. Chief Bates. We have his Deputy Chief Patrol Agent Henry Rollon, also based in Blaine. We have the Deputy Commander of the Port Angeles office, Jason Carroll. And we have Supervisory Border Patrol Agent Michael Bermudez from Blaine. have our Sheriff Mike Brassfield in his second term serving as Jefferson County Sheriff. We have our Police Chief Connor Daly, who's been Chief of Port Townsend since 2005. We have Ann Benson, who is the Directing Attorney for the Washington Defender Association's Immigration Project and a Port Townsend resident. And we have Shankar Narayan, who is the Legislative Director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Washington. There are also several elected and appointed officials here, but you know who you are, so I don't need to introduce them. We're now going to begin with our 15-minute presentations, and let me start that off by introducing you with Chief Bates from the Border Patrol.